That's it. Just make sure you have your 3D glasses ready to go before you head out and enjoy yourself.
Song, hey, my name's Andy. I'm gonna be your guy tonight. 3D glasses, we all got them? All right, good. You guys been waiting for me. They gave me a moment to, collect myself, and now I'm here for you. So how am I looking? Everything's good? Yeah? All right? Wonderful. Then let's rock and roll, folks. Let's get out of here. Let's wave goodbye to my coworkers. They've been working hard for you all day. Time for us to hit the road. All right, and before we get too far gone, I want to introduce you to my co-host for the afternoon. He's the host of The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and you're never going to guess who it is.
Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Andy.
And the greatest driver.
Nathan.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Andy
owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
All right, dude. Safety rules. Safety rules. Pull the emergency cord in case of an emergency. Runs down the center of the tram. You have a medical emergency, drop something of value, sound or video issues. Reach up and pull that red cord. I'll be back to assist you as soon as it's safe. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please remain seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. The studio is private property, so if at any time you drop your cell phone, you just can't wait to use the restroom, reach up and pull that cord, remain seated. Good. This one's kind of a no-brainer. No smoking of any kind. Sorry, friend. And be prepared for loud noises, fire effects, sudden tram movements, and the possibility of getting wet, so please keep your cameras protected. And for those of you who have selfie sticks for your safety and the safety of those around you, reduce them to their shortest length. All right, we just turned down our Universal movie timeline. These original movie posters on the right side of the tram, just a few examples of more than 1,000 films we've made here in the last century. Universal Studios is a part of NBC Universal, one of the world's leading entertainment companies, which includes Universal Pictures, Focus Features, Peacock, and NBC Television. This year marks NBC's 100th anniversary. That's right, from trailblazing radio and television to launching The Today Show, The Voice, SNL, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, and all the beloved shows in between. Universal has been the home, NBC has been the home of entertainment, news, and sports for an entire century. We're going to be celebrating that all year. But right now, the group of us are going to celebrate the movie studio part of it. We're about to cross into our front lot, which houses our 36 sound stages. In these buildings, we can create any environment a story demands. And great examples coming up on the left, Soundstage 12. It's the largest on our lot, where we've created some of the biggest sets, some of the biggest moments in movie history, like Frankenstein's Laboratory. Dracula's Castle.
Say hello to my little friend!
The Scarface Mansion, the Clock Tower from Back to the Future, the Visitor Center from Jurassic Park, the 405 freeway in Whoville, the best party John Favreau's ever been to, and he hangs out with Tony Stark, which makes him happy. So here's what the inside of an empty soundstage looks like, folks. About 75% of all the filming we do here at Universal is done in these sound stages we're driving past. Recently working in these stages, season 5 of Hacks, starring Emmy Award winners Jean Smart and Hannah Einbinder. Jean Smart also won a Golden Globe for her work on Hacks, her third Golden Globe. While we're the subject of Golden Globes, congratulations also goes out to Jessie Buckley for her Golden Globe film Hamnet, the Focus Features film Hamnet. She's also nominated for an Oscar for that role, so good luck, Jessie. Ever since our first broadcast at the 1939 New York World's Fair, we've had a long history of producing classic television shows, and many of them shot in the very stages we're driving past. Each one of these sound stages has a light beside the door. We call it a wigwag light. When it's red or when it's flashing, it's how I know the cameras are rolling. More importantly, it's how I know the recording sound, which puts us in a quiet zone, and then I go off the microphone for a bit. Because these buildings aren't 100% soundproof. They're about 95, which is pretty darn good, but we're pretty darn close. And you want my voice in the background of your favorite television show. Recently working in the stages coming up on your right from the creators of The Office. It's a new series called The Paper. Let's meet some of the cast.
Hi, Studio Tour.
We're here on the lot where we filmed The Paper, which follows our characters' day-to-day lives as employees of a struggling newspaper, the Toledo Truth-Telling.
That's right. Unlike many other TV shows, The Paper uses multiple cameras and a variety of shot types and movements to give our show a true documentary feel.
Because the camera is always around whenever we're on the set. It's important that we stay in character.
Hey, Oscar, what's your favorite part of working on that?
I wasn't expecting you to ask me that. You know what? I love being around talented, wonderful, hilarious people. I also get to work with Chelsea Fry. How about you, Chelsea? What's your favorite?
Oh, I love waving to the trends.
Oh. Okay. You can probably stop waving now.
No, it's fine. Let's try.
Yeah?
Let's try. It's good.
And you guys are going to have to wave at me if you see one of those lights flashing, because I'm sitting in the reverse direction, and if I'm talking when the lights are flashing, I get the hook. I don't want the hook. That is Sunday night. The chances of running to a wigwag light are slim, but it happens. Coming up on your left, folks, our first celebrity sighting. It's Ted. It looks like he's celebrating. He's celebrating the USA Olympic hockey, men's and women's. Gold medals all around. Way to go. He's actually happy because he's got his own television show on Peacock. How'd he swing that? Well, it starts with a development deal. These bungalows on your left house production offices for writers, directors, and producers who currently have development deals with the studio. Companies like Mark Platt Productions, the folks behind the Academy Award-winning film Wicked, and Wicked for Good. Let's say you have an idea for a movie, maybe you have a script. The play is to pitch it to the studio and get a green light. Next comes pre-production. That's when your cast and your director are locked in, all your schedules are made. Then production itself, the cameras start rolling. Generally, the most expensive part of making a movie is the production phase, and yet it's the shortest part in terms of time. After that, it's post-production. That's when all the editing is done, the soundtrack is laid in, all the visual effects and titles, and then all you have to do is throw a rap party and go to a red carpet premiere. And I'll come to the premiere as long as there's popcorn. But each year the studio receives hundreds of pitches, so take it from me. Sometimes making a movie feels a lot more like trying to push King Kong up a flight of stairs. Coming up on your left, stages 25 and 26 are two of our newest. Working in there, St. Dennis Medical. It's a comedy about an underfunded, understaffed hospital where the dedicated doctors and nurses juggle the health of their patients with their own sanity. Check it out.
Welcome to St. Dennis Medical Center. St. Dennis Regional Medical. I have access to some really good stuff, and I will hook you up.
Yeah.
No, man. That was a test.
We're like the Avengers, you know?
We're not supposed to have favorite patients, but we do.
I almost don't want him to get better. Pale, kind of blotchy.
It's the other one.
Oh my God, that's much worse.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, we're crossing into the back lot now. We shoot the big stuff out here, exterior scenes on a grand scale. Those are our metro sets over there on the left. We're gonna wave goodbye to them. The faux concrete jungle of our metropolitan sets. For the moment, we're gonna be back. First, we're gonna check out the prehistoric jungle of King Kong 360 3D. And remember this moment, folks. For those of you who are annual pass holders, eventually the penny will drop. Here's King Kong director Peter Jackson to lead the way.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I wanted to become a filmmaker. Action! I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up the edge. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times.
All right, let's get those 3D glasses on. Adventure awaits. Please remain seated and secure your belongings and hold on tight. Next stop is Skull Island.
The island. It's lived here for hundreds of years. So true.
Glasses on, everybody. We're back at Skull Island.
All right. Now, King Kong 360 3D was brought to Universal Studios Hollywood by Weta Effects, formerly Weta Digital, and Peter Jackson, the Academy Award-winning director. That epic battle we just witnessed was created using some of the most advanced technology in filmmaking today and projected on the world's largest 3D screens, standing 40 feet tall and 180 feet long.
With a project like the studio tour, The audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know what people are looking. They're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also,
All right, the Metropolitan Zone, folks. Now, these structures may appear to be built out of brick and stone, but they're actually made out of foam rubber and fiberglass over metal and wood frames. We call them facades. And they're really just the fronts and sides of buildings. It's a cheat because we only bother building what the camera can see. And we reuse them. A lot of the windows and details in the upper floors are slightly smaller than the windows and details in the previous floors. That's another cheat. It allows them to look taller than they actually are. You know, making movies is one of the few places in life where cheating is acceptable. So we do it a lot. We cheat camera angles, we shoot day for night, whatever we can get away with. Shooting day for night just means shooting during the day for a nighttime scene. It's a cost-cutting measure because if you're outside, it's a lot easier to make a movie in the daytime than it is at night. It takes less time, and therefore it's less expensive. Different ways to do it. You can use filters on the camera lenses to simulate night. That's what Spielberg did with Jaws. Or you can do what Walter Hill did on Streets of Fire. Build an entire mile of a special black fabric to cover our Metropolitan set so they can shoot day for night. And this is great because you can do a lock up and walk away, which basically means you set up once, shoot your day, go home, get a good night's sleep, come back the next day, it's already set up for you. That'll save you some time. Time is a very valuable commodity when you're in production, folks. Time is gold. All right, pop quiz, hot shots. Bonus points for anyone who can tell me how many bricks are in this wall coming up on the left. You come within 1,000, and I'll give you the points. But remember, we cheat because there aren't any bricks in that wall. There is a pretty spectacular spray paint mural over here on the right from artist Tristan Eaton. That's one guy, a bunch of spray paint cans, and a lift to get him up there. Also on the right, folks, the gates to the Lion Estates. That's where Marty McFly lived in the Back to the Future trilogy. And just beyond those gates, that's not his house, that's our underwater tank. Do you have an underwater scene in your movie? Well, you can shoot it through those hatches on the outside of the tank and you can stay dry. And more importantly, so can the camera. What else we got over here on your left? We're in a brand new season of The Voice out there in stages 31 and 32. Some veteran coaches returning. Reba McEntire's back. And boy, she's a busy lady. She's also working right next door, stages 32 and 33 on the comedy Happy's Place.
Hey there, I'm Reba McEntire and welcome to Happy's Place. We shoot our heartfelt comedy right here on Universal Live. Now, unlike most TV shows, we are a multiple-camera sitcom, meaning several cameras capture every scene from a different angle all at the same time. Each episode takes about a week to make, from the first read-through of the script to rehearsals to taping in front of a live studio audience. And let me tell you, every step is a blast. Enjoy the ride and we'll see you at Happy's Place. Is supposed to ask the women out. That hasn't been true for 30 years. I haven't dated in 30 years.
Happy's Place, Friday on NBC Peacock.
Now, this tranquil lagoon we're driving past on the left is the original Black Lagoon from the cult classic Creature from the Black Lagoon. And while we're on the subject of creature features, just up ahead of us is Little Europe. It's where we invented the monster movie. We call these upcoming sets Little Europe because they can look like many of the cities in Europe. By changing the language on street signs of the buildings, adding the appropriate vehicles and props and color schemes. These sets double as the afterlife for The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danson.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
Now this yogurt shop in the background is actually right up ahead of us. We're kind of, I guess we're right where the camera might be. I know it doesn't say yogurt in the facade anymore, but that is the yogurt shop. You can see the road splits off on either side. And I was in there during production, folks. I've seen the yogurt. They had a flavor called one-handed football catch. I'm gonna find that one in the bad place.
I can't risk going to the bad place.
Well, maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is
That's the bad place, like.
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
What we love about these sets is that in the daytime they look like the afterlife of the good place, but at night they look more like the kind of place Frankenstein or the Wolfman would be roaming around. And the truth of it is they're both. It just depends on how they're led. I think we're in the spooky zone right now. This is the Court of Miracles coming up on the right, a perfect example. It's in a spooky transition. The daytime looks pleasant and quaint, but it's where many of the famous monsters got their start. It got its name from the Parisian Square in the novel The Hunchback of Notre Dame, made into a movie in 1923, over 100 years ago. And that's what kicked off the monster movie craze.
I think we don't sort of think of monsters.
Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein,
The Mummy,
The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera. Classic films. They're just brilliant. That Frankenstein image, flathead, it's one of the great icons of the world. That to me was like the essence of the universal horror film. I was just mesmerized by it. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney.
I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie really scaring me.
They still ring in our memories now, and we love them.
And just up ahead of us at stage 50, they're working on an action comedy called Ticket Machine Heist. But the cast and crew have Sunday off, so we get to go inside and have a look around. Now, this is a hot set, folks, which means they've already shot scenes. So please remain seated, hold on, and don't attempt to touch anything. If you were to move a chair, when the shots were edited together, it would look like the chair magically appeared across the room, and that would mess with the continuity and mess with our minds as well. Continuity is very important in movie making because we shoot out of sequence. This particular set is supposed to be a subway station in San Francisco. But it could really be anywhere. All you'd have to do is change the signs, right? Depending on how tight your shots are, maybe you change the map. Well, you best hold on, folks. That feels like more than a tremor. From the 70s that became blockbusters. Keep your seats as we make our way into Amity Island, folks, because the hits just keep on coming. Amity Island is a lovely little tourist town that was once terrorized by a man-eating great white shark. Locals called it Jaws. But since then, the shark has ruled these waters, crippling the tourist economy, leaving a path of destruction in its wake. Well, we've just been informed that the shark has been caught. People of Amity Island are breathing a sigh of relief. And there's a diver on the scene right now doing a final sweep of the harbor. Jaws was directed by Steven Spielberg, won an Academy Award for Best Film Editing. The lovely and talented Miss Verna Fields, who has a building named after her here at Universal Studios Hollywood. There's the shark. Wow, it's a big one too. Look at that. Shark that size, swimming a hole. Southern Sequels, there's another shark out there. Oh no, the divers in the water. We still have a chance to catch that shark. There's some bait tied to the end of that yellow barrel out there. If he takes it, we'll snag him. He's taking the bait. He's taking the whole dog. Remember, cameras, heat, fuel, oxygen, a lethal combination. Bruce the Shark was just as much of a terror off-screen as he was on. In the actual first day of filming Jaws, Bruce sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, prompting the cast and crew to nickname the production Flaws. And folks, weather played an important role in Jaws. It does in any movie or television show, creating just the right mood and atmosphere for a scene. Weather effects have always been kind of tricky here in Hollywood because most of the time we have sunshine. So filmmakers have to create weather. We'll look at some of the ways they do it. Now, to the cinematographers out there, the camera ops, you're gonna shoot a weather spectacle. You're gonna film a flash flood. Every good cinematographer always considers the edges of the frame and the mise en scène, the objects on stage, those visual elements that may not be your main subject, but they complement and they enhance whatever mood or tone or idea you're trying to convey with the shot. Let's start with some rain. You can't even see it. We need some more lightning. Thank you. So rain is created by an overhead sprinkler hidden from view. We just shoot water straight up in the air and let it fall naturally like rain. Problem is, when we get too much rain, then it can lead to disaster in the form of flash floods, and something tells me we've got one headed right for us. Remember, folks, if you're sitting in one of the blue seats, well, you may get wet through, okay? That flood was caused by dumping thousands of gallons of recycled water from large tanks of the hill. Now, this is maybe 60-65% of our time together. Just want to remind everybody to remain seated at all times. You guys have been fantastic, but just in case you drop something, you just can't wait to use the restroom, reach up and pull that red cord, get my attention, I'll come back and we'll sort it out. We're going to drive into Amity Island again. Don't worry, we're not going to be terrorized by the shark again. To be honest with you, I'm still traumatized from the last time. It might interest you to know that Jaws director Steven Spielberg was an integral part in the design of the whole Jaws attraction.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building these physical sharks that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created. My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. This was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom. And when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left. And then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
All right, folks, well, we've turned down Colonial Street, and it's kind of dark. Colonial Street, otherwise known as Wisteria Lane for ABC's Desperate Housewives, Candy Cane Lane for the Netflix feature Candy Cane Lane, and Mockingbird Lane for the classic series The Munsters. Right now, this street is doubling as Ashfield Place for a series called The Burbs, starring Keegan Palmer.
Welcome to Ashfield Place, the safest town in America. So, what's the deal with that Victorians? There have been whispers of murder. Which one of us is the murderer? So are we gonna go in?
Do white ladies love salads? Hell yeah, we're going in.
And this is also where Ted and Johnny live on the series Ted.
Let the festivities begin.
How many we got?
Well, let's see. We got 20 condoms.
Fantastic.
Do you think we're getting too old for this?
Well, come on, Johnny, we're doing a public service here. If a kid leaves the house in a less than stellar Halloween costume, he's got to get the bad news before he makes a fool of himself all over town. We're Samaritans.
And that brings us to our wilderness area. Like Spielberg said, movies are shot all over the world and on location, and maybe your story calls for some big vast wilderness, but maybe you can cheat it with just a little bit of wilderness like this. And this wilderness has running water and electricity and is in close proximity to amenities. That'll make your filming day go a whole lot smoother. Once again, it'll save you time. Picture Sandra Bullock out here with a blindfold on. They shot pickups for Bird Box out here. Pickups are shot after principal photography has wrapped. Let's say you're sitting in the editing room and you realize you missed a couple of shots. Well, then you go back and you shoot pickup shots. But it can be tricky because by then you've probably spent your production budget and most of your actors have moved on to other commitments. So sometimes you have to get creative. Maybe use photo doubles instead of your actors and shoot them over the shoulder, or rewrite the script or re-edit to make it work. Remember, folks, it's not how well you can make a movie. It's how well you can make a movie under the circumstances. Well, let's check out some picture cars. Got the Magnum PI Ferrari over there on the right beside Biff's car from Back to the Future, the one that got covered in manure. Must have a really good car wash. Some Fast and Furious cars on the left. There's Bumblebee, gotta love a Camaro. If you're gonna transform it into an Autobot, you'd be damned if you don't do it with some style. Just up ahead of us, our official scale replica of LA's most iconic landmark, the Hollywood sign. And over here on your right, folks, probably the two most famous sets still standing in Hollywood. That's the Bates Motel and the Psycho House from Hitchcock's Psycho. Home to Universal's public enemy number one, Norman Bates. Creeping characters, I think that's it. You guys, that's Norman Bates. Holy homicide. Well, he's probably just helping that woman check out. Oh, she's checked out all right. Uh-oh. Now he's checking us out. I think we better hit the road. And if the house was a little bit small, it's because it's a 3/4 scale. It was built that way so Norman would look bigger, more menacing when he stood in the doorway. When Hitchcock released Psycho in 1960, he had a difficult time getting it past the censor's office because of that infamous shower scene. They were shocked and demanded that he make changes, but he knew after they'd seen it once, they'd be slightly desensitized to the material, so he sat on the footage for a couple of weeks and then resubmitted without changing anything. This time, they accepted the footage. They even thanked him for making those changes he never actually made. Just beyond the Psycho House, one of the more impressive sets ever created, the spectacular crash site from War of the Worlds.
You said we got to sit down and talk about it.
Robbie, get in.
Just up ahead of us is Jupiter's Claim. Some of the actual sets used in Jordan Peele's sci-fi thriller Nope. Here's Jordan.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky G. Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, I do. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable live show.
75. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold-rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the hotspot. What's it? Welcome to the world of the gold. Well, that's what it sounds like to be absorbed by a UFO, folks. You know, we were absorbed by a UFO to that effect, but it seemed like a little much. I mean, you never can tell how long an alien abduction is going to take. Coming up on your right is Falls Lake, and the largest freestanding backdrop in Hollywood. I want to talk about that. I want to use the Academy Award-winning film Sully to do it. Sully is the story of U.S. Airways pilot Chelsea Sullenberger. In 2009, he landed an A320 on the Hudson River in New York City. Tom Hanks plays him in the movie.
Evacuate.
This scene was shot out here in Falls Lake. I know it's a little hard to see because of the light and it looks like a parking lot, but for Sully, they lowered the body of an A320 onto a gimbal so it could rock back and forth, raise the water level up, add some actors and stunt personnel on the wings of the plane. The cloudy sky in the background is the backdrop. It's just painted on. The New York skyline was put in post-production. It's computer-generated imagery or CGI. It gives us the illusion of depth, yeah? But that's probably the most popular spot for outside productions to come in and use. There just aren't that many of those facilities around. Sully was a Warner Brothers film, and for those of you who remember the mermaid sequence in Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, that was shot on Falls Lake. All right, we're going to take you back now, folks. On behalf of our driver, Nathan, myself, and all of us here at Universal, it's been a pleasure showing you all around. To our pass holders, thank you for being with us again today. For those of you who aren't pass holders, you can visit the Universal box office and see how you can turn today's ticket into an annual pass return again and again and again if you like. Oh, and download the Universal Studios Hollywood app. That's a useful tool when you're here. You can confirm the park closes tonight at 7 p.m. See show times, check wait times, details on mobile food ordering, all sorts of good stuff. One last spectacular look at the San Fernando Valley, all lit up on the right. And plan to come back this April and May to experience the park in a whole new way. Universal Fan Fest nights. Step into the iconic worlds of Scooby-Doo and the Universal Monsters, One Piece, the Wizarded World of Harry Potter and more, as sci-fi, fantasy, gaming, and anime collide in one epic celebration every event night, all in one place. To find out more and purchase tickets, visit universalstudioshollywood.com. Been a pleasure showing you around, folks. Like we say in the movies, that's a wrap.
Go.